Hey, young girl. We are back with a new episode this week. I want to start off by saying thank you to who all have been watching, listening, sharing, commenting over on all of our platforms. We are on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, and anywhere you can just search for podcasts and you can look up Hey Young Girl, the podcast. Thank you, thank you. And we are hoping that you subscribe and turn on your notifications so that you'll be notified when we post. Right now, we are posting weekly. So, thank you. So, as you know, we are getting ready to head back to school. And so, I just want to touch on, back to school activities, planning, things like that, moms. So, and if you aren't a mom and you yourself are heading back to school, I just want to drop a few tips, and that's what we're talking about today. So, most of you all know school is starting back, summer is ending, and we need to get prepared. Our kids are heading back to school. We need school supplies. You're going to need uniforms, underclothes, socks, t-shirts, fresh underwear, shoes, preferably if you could, two different pairs so they won't wear out quickly. We need to start scheduling, haircuts for the boys, doing our girls' hair or scheduling them styling appointments, getting a list for back to school. Most of the schools will send you something in the mail with the school supply list and upcoming activities, this day that school starts, yada, yada, yada. So you need to be looking out for that. Also, if you haven't gotten anything in the mail, maybe you should check the school's website and you can get a lot of information there. You need to be getting prepared to get all of their school supplies and, any extra stuff that they may need going forward. They may need water cups, lunch boxes, PE uniforms, paying for PTA dues, and if they want to start any extracurricular activities, you're going to need the fees and dues for that, and whatever uniforms they'll need for those extracurricular activities. So if you hadn't already started budgeting and putting money to the side for that, you need to be doing so at this time because you got a couple of weeks left to get things started for your children. All right. Also, just not getting their supplies and clothes and things ready. Also, you also need to be getting the mindset right, getting their body prepared. Most of our kids over the summer, they've been staying up late nights, and we need to get them back on a correct school schedule. A sleep schedule to make sure they will be, back on a good schedule of getting enough hours of sleep so they can be prepared for these early mornings. If your child is going to be riding the bus, you need to, make sure you know what the bus route is going to be, where they're going to need to stand to catch the bus. Parents, make sure you're getting enough sleep as well so you can be up, making sure they get their breakfast, because if they have an empty stomach going to school, then it is going to be much harder for them to focus if they're hungry. Okay, so if you're not preparing their meals at home, please make sure you are getting them to school early enough so they can get the breakfast at school. Also, filling out all of the paperwork if you need to get, like free lunch or anything like that. Make sure you are filling out all of the paperwork so your child can be, get everything that they need to be ready for school. All right. Also, parents, we need to get our work schedules and everything, to coincide with your child's schedule. Meaning, if are getting up early, your work schedule, warrants for you to get up earlier than your child. You need to have somebody else in place, your mate, a parent, your parent, grandparent, whoever helps you with your children. You need to start making those phone calls and letting them know ahead of time. Most of the time, if you let somebody know early enough, they'll be able to get ready for that child. If you're not going to be there, don't wait to the last minute and be trying to, call people to pick them up or drop them off. And if you work later hours than your child get off from school, you also need to be preparing, getting a ride for them in the evening if they're not catching the bus, or, any after school activities that they need to get to. You need to make sure they're finding a way to get there. All right. Also, emotionally, you need to get your child ready, build up their confidence, and, kind of give them a heads up if to what to expect if they're going from elementary to middle school. Maybe, start talking to them about switching classes. That's something new that they'll be doing. Lockers and, different things like that. Need to prep them so they won't be so surprised and get anxiety and get overwhelmed with all of the new things. Make sure you're showing up for the PTA meetings, the stuff that they have throughout the year, starting at the beginning of the year. That way they can get a kind of, a feel of how the schedule will go. They'll be able to meet the teachers ahead of time. You'll also be able to meet the teachers, give them your email, your phone number, another contact number at your job, so they can get in contact with you, if they need to. Make sure you have the emergency contacts available. If your child is on any type of medications, make sure you have their prescriptions filled and things like that, and have it ready to be delivered to the school. Just plan ahead of time so you and your child won't be having this anxiousness, this overwhelming feeling. Talk to your child about bullying, you know, you know, not to be bullying no other kids, signs to look for. If they're getting bullied, let them know there is a safe space for you to talk to them, or there's counselors at the school if they don't feel comfortable, but you hope they are feeling comfortable to talk to you and come to you first. So, you need to make a comfortable environment. You can't be so strict and to where your child's so scared to even bring anything to you, or if they mess up in school or whatever, they're so terrified that they don't even want to show you the grades. So, make sure, you know, you're providing that emotional and, giving them grace and things like that as they're transitioning back from the summer into the fall, going back into school. Um, give them the hand claps of praise, be their little cheerleaders and things like that. They're going to need all of that support to get through this school year and, progress in a good way. They have all these tests and leap tests, all if they have to take leap tests. So, make sure they have a calm and, balanced life in at home. That way they aren't bringing anxiety or, um, tension from home life. If you and the other parent, are providing that environment for them to feel comfortable in, that way they can grow and let your children grow and expand by helping them, giving them the foundation at home. That way they can go out and, continue to do those things when you aren't around. Provide a safe space and a safe environment. The kids how they are, and you don't want your kids to fall into this, that they don't have their own confidence and they don't have what they need. So the kids are, talking about them or anything like that. Not saying anything is that's okay, but you want to make sure they're ready for the first day and throughout the school year. That way, hopefully, you can kind of alleviate some of that pressure on them because they're ready. All right. And make sure you're showing up for them for their sporting events, for their little clubs that they're in and stuff like that. If you can't make it, make sure you have another family member or something like that to show up for your child. All right. So they can have the best school year, they can pass and, you know, go on to be great adults. Okay. So let's prepare and plan ahead so you and your child can have a successful school year. All right. And I'll see y'all next week. Bye.